Welcome to another episode on Afro Issues, and today we are going to be talking about drug and substance use. And we have a special guest in our midst who's going to educate us and enlighten us on the use of drug and substance use. I remain your host, Pamela, joined by Fama, Cynthia, and Lash. Welcome to Afro Issues. Okay, please, I would like to know, what is drug abuse?
Okay, drug abuse is the use of substance, let's say the habitual use of substance, not intended for therapeutic purpose, but solely to alter one's mood, state of consciousness, or just alter the person's body movement unnecessarily.
Okay. Lash, do you like to say anything?
Oh, she has actually said it all. I believe she's in the best position to say it as a pharmacist. But talking from a layman's perspective, we're talking about drug and substance abuse. I would just say it's the incessant use of drugs without the doctor's prescription. Anything that you use that the doctor hasn't prescribed or asked you to use and you use it without prescription, to me, it's drug abuse.
Okay, so we can say that those drugs can be used legal or illegal, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why do people abuse drugs? I would like to know, why do people abuse drugs?
Okay, before I go into why people abuse drugs, I'm going to list these drugs of abuse. You know, the various substances that people abuse. Number one, people abuse alcohol, they abuse tobacco, they abuse opioid analgesics like codeine, heroin, pentazocine, tramadol, and also cocaine. People abuse cocaine, club drugs like rofinol and methamphetamine. They abuse all those drugs, to mention but a few. So why people abuse drugs, it goes a long way. It's number one, it can be from the environment, the kind of company they keep, you know. So they say, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. So if you are in a situation where your friends abuse drugs, definitely there will be a tendency for you to abuse those drugs. And then another reason why people abuse drugs, maybe because of they feel they have failed in life. Maybe students, people in school, they feel like, my academics, I'm not doing well. With the academics, they feel they are not doing well. Or probably in their career, their workplace, they feel they are not doing well. So they just want to,
they want to fit in.
Yes, they want to fit in. They want something that will make them feel better, to forget about their family problem, their, all those things that make people to abuse drugs.
Okay, Lash, do you want to say anything?
Okay, I would like to just take something for what she said. You see, people abuse drugs, and you give an instance alcohol. So I try to say that we drink alcohol now.
Yes, people abuse alcohol.
To it.
So
of course. Yes, drink responsibly. Even when they are
drink and not get drunk.
Yes, of course.
Okay, what
because I've already defined drug abuse.
Yes.
Like let me say drug addiction. You're addicted to this thing. You feel that without this thing you cannot function properly. Guy, if I don't drink 5 bottles a day, I cannot function properly. If I don't smoke that cigarette, I cannot, carry on with my normal daily activities. So you now begin to abuse this drug. Then you become addicted to this drug. So
I want to give an instance now. Probably I go for a party and I'm offered maybe like 4 bottles of Star. Shout out to Star. Well, I'm offered 4 bottles of Star. But each and every one of us, we have different capacities for drinking.
Yes.
Probably mine could be 2 crates now. Am I abusing that?
That is, yeah, of course. No, because you are killing yourself slow. You wouldn't know it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, of course.
So what are the effects of that on me? Taking 2 crates. It's liquid now. It's not just drink and you pass it out as urine.
Really?
Yeah.
It's going to affect you. Okay, just imagine when you get drunk and you start to stagger. Do you know what that is?
I know of people that take like a crate and they still maintain their balance.
They are killing themselves. Their health is gradually going down. Their mental ability is gradually going down. They don't even know it. Their kidney. And if you take a lot of alcohol, with time you are predisposed to all these health issues, like hypertension, diabetes. So the risks of getting all these diseases.
So what about, does it really causes any type of curse? I have someone who drinks a lot. And each time we talk on the phone, the person is actually complaining of, I'm sick of typhoid, I'm sick of typhoid, I'm sick of typhoid. The doctor said I have to stop drinking, that's the curse of my typhoid.
Well, I don't think it's actually the cause of his typhoid anyway. But for the fact that he's drinking that much, definitely his body system is not going to be functioning the way it's supposed to function.
Oh,
His
okay.
his immunity is already low. I mean, someone that drinks like a fish, I mean, his immunity is definitely going to be low. So, but drinking alcohol has nothing to do with typhoid fever at
Okay.
all.
All right. Okay, so how does this, usage of drugs, how can it, when does it become an abuse?
I think usage of drugs become an abuse when probably if let's just say, for instance, the drugs are actually prescribed. Let's not even go so deep into maybe it's people that take cocaine. The drug was actually prescribed for a particular purpose.
Okay.
Let's say something like diazepam or something like. But you just find yourself just when you have used it for a very long time, you just find yourself wanting to just go back to it. Like I cannot do this if I cannot do anything if I don't take this drug. So people begin to abuse this drug.
Okay, so you mean it's about the doctor prescribing these drugs and not overtaking them?
Not overtaking it, yes.
Okay.
When heavy dependence on this drug leads to abuse, it leads to addiction. So when you feel that you can no longer function properly without using these drugs, then I will say you have abused the drug.
Okay, I like to ask a question here. At times, probably, what happens if you just feel like helping yourself out? Now, for instance, there's some drugs that actually help sexual performance, the likes of tramadol. Now, probably I'm tired now, and my woman is on my neck. I'm tired. The natural strength is not there. Is it bad if I just take tramadol just to help myself out?
Yeah, it's very bad. I'm going to tell you because if you know the long-term side effect of using that tramadol, my dear, you will not even want to use the tramadol.
Okay, so I'd like you to enlighten me.
Because people don't actually know, they just I want to just for sexual performance, I want to perform, I want to show the girl, I don't want to go into all those details. But all these drugs, with time, they begin to affect your system. Not just physiologically, but mentally, you understand? They affect your system. You find that before you know it, the person begins to have shortness of breath, start having problem with his respiratory, the way he breathes and his organ, his heart, all those things. It affects the side effect of these drugs. You understand? Because the side effect is not good for you. Something like, let's say, cocaine now. The side effect of this cocaine, before a person starts psychosis, you have often heard of a situation where someone uses marijuana, mixes it with one or two things, and before they say, the guy is already talking like a madman. That is psychosis. Some people don't even come back from that state, So all these are the things that we want to discourage, that want us to discourage the abuse of drugs. And then most of crime rate increases when people abuse drugs. The drug messes up their brain. They don't know what they are doing. They feel like they just this feeling of euphoria. They don't even know what they are doing. You find out the rape increase is on the high.
Okay, so what are the effects of these drugs? What are the effects of it?
Okay, but I think before we go to the effects, I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
Now, looking at this part of the country where we are, this part of the world, is there a level? Is there a gauge for abuse? Okay, until it gets to this stage, because if you look at it, I don't want to say Nigerians are gullible, but I like to say that we overdo things a lot. When we're being introduced to things, we tend to overdo them, raise the bar. So in this part of the world, when do you say, okay, I think at this point this should be a stop, or this should be a limit for drug use in this country? Is there a point? Is there a limit? Is there a gauge?
One thing about this substance of abuse, they actually work in your brain. So when that is why they even if probably like that tramadol you talked about that is used for pain naturally, find yourself, because that is the side effect. It has the tendency for you to get addicted to it. So that it works on that part of the brain. Like next time you want to, it's like, no, if I don't use those drugs, I cannot perform. So you find yourself going back and back and back. Before you know, if you use 2 tablets before, it will not be enough for you. You want to go higher, and you have to up the dose, and that is affecting you financially. It's affecting you.
Okay, so
psychologically, it's affecting you, physically, everywhere.
So it is advisable not to use drugs while you want to have sex with your partner. Lash, you've heard it from us.
Why are you referring to me?
Drugs like tramadol should not be used as a sexual, and they have other drugs that actually meant for that purpose. You
Okay.
understand? Tramadol is not meant for sexual.
What about,
So,
what about
okay.
Viagra?
Yes, Viagra actually enhance sexual
Okay.
performance and to treat impotence in
Oh,
men that
okay.
cannot
So
get it up.
that's what that's for.
That is what it's for. Then they can use to treat hypertension, some certain type of hypertension. That is
Okay.
what it's used for.
Okay, so can you tell us how this, drugs affects you physically and psychologically?
I don't want to physically, of course, now. Physically, you find out that someone that is addicted to a particular substance, physically the person will not be looking so good, especially when it has gotten to the point of addiction. Like if the person is addicted to cocaine, even if the person has to sell any of his landed property, that is for people that are even rich. That is he will sell it to get that cocaine just to feel good, and that feeling is a false feeling.
Okay, what about the duties of law enforcement agency?
Wow, the duties of law enforcement agency. The law enforcement agency actually puts in place to regulate the drug and substance abuse is the NDLA, that is the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, which was established in the year 1999. This agency, they help to eliminate the planting, the processing, the manufacturing, the export, sales, trafficking of drug substances, that is the hard drugs, illegal substances. So this NDLA, they actually have penalties for people that they catch, that the drug traffickers.
Okay.
Not just drug trafficking. When you say drug trafficking, some people just think that they caught you with the drug. It goes beyond that. If you are actually buying the drug, you are going to face penalty.
Okay.
If you are caught using the drug, you are going to face penalty. Exporting the drug, importing the drug, whatever, money laundering.
All right, no problem. I'll let you answer the rest of the question when we're back on our short break. We'll be going on a short break and we'll be right back.
This is Afro Issues.
Hi, this is Zach Orji, Nollywood actor and filmmaker. Keep watching and keep following Afro Issues.
This is Afro Issues.
Welcome back to the duties of the law enforcement agency in Nigeria. Last, what do you have to say about?
Seriously, for the NDLEA, drug law enforcement agencies like NDLEA, NAFDAC, I think they are not doing much.
Okay.
From my own perspective, I don't think they are doing much. If you look back at probably NAFDAC, let's say 10, 15 years ago, they actually did a whole job under the administration of Dora Kennedy. So rest in perfect peace. But generally, what I'm just trying to say is, I don't think the law enforcement agencies are doing quite enough, because even some drugs that have actually been banned, you still see them in the market. You see them; they are actually on the streets. It's that bad that you could just walk by the roadside and you will see drug peddlers, people that are selling all sorts of drugs. I think 3 or 4 weeks back, I and my friend were just walking down the road, and we saw this guy who doesn't even know Jack Robinson about drugs, prescribing drugs and telling you, okay, you can use this. He didn't even pass through the 4 walls of the school. You understand? He doesn't even know anything about drugs. He can't even tell you the chemical composition of these drugs. And he was telling us that, okay, use this will help you. And I was like, guy, you go school? And he said, bros, leave that in also. Imagine. And I'm like, for real? In Nigeria? You can't see this in the western part of the world. You can't see this outside the country.
No.
It's here. And I think the drug enforcement agencies, they should get, I don't know how I'm going to say it, but they should just put all hands on deck and ensure that they curb all this, because it's spreading. You'll be surprised that even kids, little children, abuse drugs now.
Yes.
Kids that are not even up to the adult age,
School.
they abuse drugs. Because these drugs are readily available. You can get them anywhere. If you notice, if you buy a drug and you open the drug, there's always a pamphlet, a little booklet inside that gives you the dosage, the prescription, how you use it, and the direction. And at the end of the day, there's something they call caution on those drugs. Tell you keep out of the reach of children. It won't tell you the room temperature and all that. Nowadays, drugs are littered everywhere. You see a kid that just pick up any drug and just put it. It's that bad. I think there was an incident that happened in my area, I think last year or 2 years ago, because the way the mother abused drugs, she just used drugs anyhow. The boy took the drug, he took it to school, and he used it. And could you believe that the boy took that drug and slept off? They were now looking for the boy. He was supposed to go home. He didn't go home because he took the drug and he slept off. That's one of the effects, because he was young. So they were looking for him. It was the next day when the cleaner came to school, saw the boy, he was in the toilet, that's where he slept off. And the mother was looking for the child. She thought probably the child has been kidnapped, or So look at all this. I think the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, they should do more and try and curb all this. They should just do what they can to curb all this. I don't know if pharmacist Cynthia has anything to say about that.
Yeah,
Sure.
because these drugs are like in Nigeria. You find people going to buy them. Where do they get them from?
Like you said, because people have access to this drug, they sell it illegally. You don't, gone are those days when you say, okay, you have to get to the farm. These days, people actually get the drugs, even hard substances. They get it from this abuki. People sell drugs and the bus, BRT buses, downfall buses, which is not supposed to be sold. So I think this drug and law enforcement agency, together with NAFDAC, together with all other agencies, they should, put measures, strict measures to curb and reduce the abuse of drugs, possession, abuse, use of all these hard substances.
Also, I think there's something that they say charity begins at home. I think we ourselves, we should also check ourselves, because we give these peddlers the opportunity to sell these drugs. Imagine you allowing a peddler to come into a commercial vehicle and try and sell it, and you see people purchasing. Yes. They should arrest you too. If you buy inside that bus, be arrested.
Yes.
Because we encourage them. We encourage them,
yes,
and we should stop it. Because when they come into the bus, they tell you, I was in a BRT some weeks back, and one guy came in, you can use this, use that,
and you see all
you see
and
people,
they lie.
And you see people like, Oga Natro, please give me one. Oh yeah, give me one. From give me. And the guy sold all the drugs there.
Yes.
Imagine. So if the drugs are expired, how are we going to know? There is no prescription, there is no expiry date, no manufacturing date.
Psychologically, how would you know if the drug is good for you? So all these things, they have to put
So I would say, I think it starts from we ourselves. If you are going to use drugs, ensure that it has doctor's prescription.
Yes.
If it's not prescribed from a doctor, stay away from it.
Okay, so what about this, pharmaceutical fake companies, whereby people go in there to, get drugs, and they just prescribe any drugs for you without the approval of the doctor?
Yeah,
where do they really get this
fake, there are companies that produce fake drugs in this country. That one we cannot deny the fact. Even if the NAFDAC they are working hard to make sure that they reduce the number of these fake companies. There are companies there that produce drugs. In fact, there was even there's a case of one lady that I used to know that told me that all these things have to boil down to poverty, unemployment in the society. There was a lady that that was actually unemployed for a very long time, and she had to seek employment. And she said she got employed in one company that produces fake drugs. And in this Lagos, they were underground. Like drugs with no NAFDAC number, and yet when they push it out, people will buy it. Fake drugs carrying probably, if the drug is supposed, maybe it's like something like Coartem. It's not Coartem. They just make the pack to look like Coartem and then put their own products, substandard or fake goods into this packet. And people, so there are some, I had a friend that was desperate. She was actually looking for a job, and she said she got a job in a company, I don't even know, an unknown company that actually manufactures.
That has no name?
That has no name. She said she has no, that if you see the way they were so discreet there with the employees, they don't even allow you to go out. They just, like if you're in the prison yard, they were making them to package all these, fake and substandard goods with fake package, fake label, and all those things. So I think if NAFDAC can actually, put in more effort, to fish these people out, the federal government should, put in more effort. They should be more revenue allocated to fishing all these people that produce fake drugs, that encourage circulation of illegal fake substandard substances. So if the government can actually push it, and then they should try to reduce the level of unemployment in the society, because it's because of this unemployment that will make someone to start selling drugs in the bus, hawking drugs. Unemployment, poverty is too much. Now for instance, now they said there was one news I read some few months back of a list that was released. Most of the people on that list, they were actually Nigerians trafficking drugs. What is the cause? It is because of poverty, unemployment. And I know the president said the Nigerian youths are lazy and all those, but I don't think so. I think we work hard. We want to make a living. So, but when the society does not even encourage your little efforts, people tend to go into different things just to make ends meet. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not like encouraging it or saying what they are doing is good. What they are doing is actually very bad. But I think federal government needs to look into this situation, try to curb poverty, and arrest those with strict penalties.
Okay, you're talking about employment opportunity. Don't you think the government should at least employ the youth, like put people in place to secure and monitor these people that do this illegal drugs?
Of course, it's still part of employment. Yes.
Do you mind if I actually cut in there before we talk about this employment? You actually said something.
Yeah.
First and foremost, if we are going to curb this menace of drug abuse, I think the first thing is we need to value human lives. We don't value human lives in this part of the world, because if you do, why would you make fake and substandard drugs and sell to your fellow man?
Of course, very bad.
The moment we can actually address that issue, human life should be of value to us. We don't value human lives here. That's why people just sell. It's all about the hustle.
Yeah.
All about myself, me making money and feeding myself. I don't care about the other person. If it affects the other person, it's none of my business. The moment we can address that and take that out of the equation, I think then we can now start talking about curbing the menace of drug abuse. Then talking about unemployment in Nigeria. I don't want to go down into politics and start talking about the government. But what I'll just say basically is there is little the government can do. There is little, because if you keep on saying the government, what about we ourselves, the youth? There are so many youths that are making, now the people that make most money today are the entertainers and entrepreneurs. Okay. Why? Because they have made use of their talent. So I'm just throwing this out to the youth out there, that make use of the talent you have and become something of yourself. Don't delve into drugs or substance abuse. It's not going to lead you anywhere. That's my own take on that.
Okay, so how can these drugs be curbed? There should be a way we can curb this, legal drugs in our country.
I've said it already before.
Yeah, said it all.
I said it.
First of all, we
ourselves. We should be the police of ourselves. We should be the judiciary of ourselves. There should be checks and balances. Yes. We should check ourselves. The moment you notice, see, these people are thriving because we are patronizing them.
Okay.
The moment you begin to patronize these people, they will thrive. Yeah. They would expand. They would expand. If these peddlers are there and there's no one to buy from them, they will definitely go down. Yeah. But because everyone, they are looking for cheap drugs, and that's one thing that kills Nigeria. If they kill Nigeria, let me say it PG. If they kill Nigeria, cheap things kills Nigerians. They want cheap things. So drug, you go to the pharmacy and tell them probably you're not feeling fine. They say, okay, a malaria drug costs 2,000 naira. Na lie.
They won't buy it.
He will not give you some nonsense, some concussion, and you take it, and at the end of the day, something. Yeah. So I think Nigerians, we need to just wake up. We need to wake up and understand that we need to value our lives. Like I said, once we value our lives, we'll take the right step.
Yeah. Okay, it's never a bad idea to take drugs when you feel symptoms, but make sure your doctor prescribes your drugs for you. It's a wrap on today's wonderful episode, and don't forget to visit our page shown on your screen below, and join us next time next week. I remain your host, Pamela. Bye.